You have been on a long and wearying search, my child, a pilgrim on a desperate quest for a light in a world that has seemed so often shrouded in darkness. You have looked for me, for my presence, for a sign of my hope in the far off distances, believing me to be a remote God who must be sought in high and holy places, outside of your own messy, human experience. You have searched for me in your circumstances, hoping to find the light of my favor in your successes. You have searched for me in other people, hoping to hear my voice in their counsel. You have searched for me in your religious activities, hoping to earn a moment of my presence through your striving. And this long, outward search has left your spirit exhausted, your heart disappointed, and your soul feeling more lost, more in the dark than when you first began. They, the world, have applauded your striving, for they, too, believe I am a distant God who must be pursued, but you have been looking in all the wrong places. My beloved, you have been on a long and arduous journey to find a treasure that you have been carrying within you all along. And I'm here now to bring your exhausting search to a glorious and a peaceful end. To speak a truth so simple, so profound, that it will change the very direction of your gaze forever. The light you seek is within you. I know this long and painful search so well, my precious one, for I have been the silent witness to every step of your journey. I have seen you searching for me in the landscape of your circumstances, in the seasons when your life has been filled with blessing, when your path has been smooth. You have felt my presence. You have seen the light of my favor, and your heart has been at peace. But you have mistaken my blessing for my presence, the gift for the giver. And so, when the circumstances have changed, when the season of trial has come, when the landscape of your life has grown dark and difficult, you have concluded that I have departed, that the light has gone out. This has led you into a frantic and an anxious striving to control your circumstances, to fix your world, believing that if you could only restore the pleasantness of your situation, you would once again find me. But your peace has been a fragile thing, utterly dependent on a world that is, by its very nature, unpredictable and often painful. Your search for me in your circumstances has been a recipe for a life of profound and constant anxiety. And I've seen you searching for me in other people. My beloved, you have looked for my wisdom in the words of your teachers, your pastors, your friends. You have looked for my love in the embrace of your family, your partner. And while I can, and often do, speak and love through others, you have made these human vessels the very source of your light. And so, when they have inevitably failed you, when their wisdom has proven to be flawed, when their love has proven to be conditional, when they have, in their own brokenness, disappointed you, you have felt that I, myself, have failed you. You have projected their human fallibility onto me, and your disappointment in them has become a dark cloud of your disillusionment with me. This search for my perfect light in imperfect human beings, my child, has been a source of your deepest wounds, your most profound heartbreaks, and I've seen you searching for me in your own religious efforts. My child, you have believed that if you prayed hard enough, if you served diligently enough, if you were good enough, Then you would be rewarded with an experience of my presence, a feeling of my light. And so, you have striven, you have performed, you have worked, and you have found it to be a weary and often a fruitless labor. For my presence is not a wage to be earned by your efforts, but a gift to be received by my grace. And in your striving to reach me, you have often, paradoxically, missed the very quiet, gentle, and restful presence that was with you all along. Your search for me in your own activity has left you feeling like a spiritual failure, a soul who is simply not good enough to merit a true encounter with its God. This long, outward search, my beloved, has been born of a single and profound misunderstanding, the belief that I am a God who is out there, separate from you, a distant being who must be found. And this belief has been the very source of your loneliness, your weariness, your profound sense of separation. But I'm here now to utterly shatter that illusion, to bring your exhausting, external quest to a glorious, internal homecoming. For I am not a God who is out there. I am Emmanuel, God with you, and God in you, when I created you anew. My child, no, I did not just forgive you. I filled you. I took up residence in the very center of your being. I made the sanctuary of your own heart, my chosen dwelling place. The entire time, you have been looking for me in the far-off distances. I have been here, at the very core of your being, a hidden, secret, and magnificent source of light, of life, of love, waiting patiently, loving you, for you to cease your outward search and to finally turn your gaze inward, to discover the magnificent treasure you have been carrying all along. You have been like a person dying of thirst while carrying a canteen full of pure, life-giving water on their own back, utterly unaware of the provision they possess. You have been like a pilgrim on an arduous journey to a distant, holy city, not realizing that the king of that city has already made his royal residence in the very chambers of your own heart. The search is over, my child. The journey is not to a place outside of yourself. The journey now is a journey inward. It is the journey of discovering, of exploring, of learning to live from the magnificent, divine, and all-sufficient reality of my own indwelling presence. You do not need to look to your circumstances for your light. You do not need to look to other people for your light. You do not need to look to your own efforts for your light. For the light you have so desperately been seeking, my precious child, is and has always been within you. And as you learn to turn to this inner source, you will find a light that is not dependent on your circumstances, a light that is more reliable than any human being, a light that does not need to be earned through your striving, a light that is eternal, that is powerful, and that will never, ever fade. Yes, my precious child, as you stand now at the end of your long and wearying external search, your spirit exhausted from looking for me in all the wrong places, I am here now to speak the most glorious, the most liberating, the most paradigm-shifting truth of your entire existence. The reason your search has been so fruitless, my beloved, the reason you have not been able to find the light you so desperately long for, is because you have been looking for something outside of you that I, in a magnificent and a beautiful mystery of my grace, have already placed within you. You have been looking in the wrong place. My child, the entire time you have been scanning the distant horizons for a sign of my coming. I have already been here. The entire time you have been crying out to a heaven that has seemed as brass. I have been dwelling quietly in the very sanctuary of your own heart. The long and lonely search is over, my child, not because you have finally found me, but because you're about to discover that I have been with you and in you all along. For my spirit, the very essence of my being, has made his home in you. This is the great and central truth of the new covenant I have made with you, a truth that your mind, so accustomed to the old ways of separation, may struggle to fully comprehend. The world, and even much of the religious understanding it has given you, has taught you to think of me as a God who is up there, a distant monarch upon a heavenly throne, separate and removed from the messy, earthly reality of your daily life. And so, your entire spiritual life has been a journey of trying to bridge this imagined chasm, of trying to reach up to me, of trying to get my attention, of trying to draw me down to you. But this is the old way, my child, the way of a covenant that has now passed away. In this new and glorious reality into which you have been brought, the great miracle is not that you can now, through your efforts, reach me. The great miracle is that I, in my love, have now, through my grace, come to reach you, to fill you, to make my permanent and joyful home within you. The temple is no longer a building of stone to which you must journey. You, my beloved, your very body, your very heart, has become my temple. The Holy of Holies was no longer a place behind a veil where only a high priest can enter once a year. The Holy of Holies is now the very center of your own spirit, where you and I can now dwell together in a constant, an intimate, and a beautiful communion. You have been looking for an external light, a light from your circumstances, a light from other people. But I am here to tell you that you are now yourself a carrier of the light. For I, who am light, now dwell within you. The source is no longer outside of you. It is within you. You are a lamp, my child, and I am the unquenchable, divine, and eternal flame that I have now placed within your very own being. This is a truth that changes everything. It means you no longer have to live in fear of the darkness, for you carry your own all-powerful light source with you at all times. It means you no longer have to be dependent on the flickering, unreliable lights of this world, for you have within you a light that is constant, that is eternal, that can never fade and can never be extinguished. It means that your search for light, for hope, for God is over. For the magnificent, reality-altering truth is that the very one you have been seeking has already found you, has already filled you, and has already made his home in the very center of your own heart. I know this may be difficult to feel at first. My child, your feelings have been so long conditioned by your old reality of separation that it may take them time to catch up with this new and glorious truth. You may still feel that I am distant. You may still feel that you are in the dark, but you must now learn to live by the truth of my word, not by the ever-changing reality of your feelings, and the truth, the absolute, unshakable, and foundational truth of your new life is this: I am in you. My spirit is with you. The light you seek is already and will forever be within you. Let this truth begin to reorient your entire spiritual life. Let it bring your long and exhausting outward search to a joyful and a peaceful end. And let it be the beginning of a new and an even more beautiful journey, the inward journey of discovering, of exploring, and of learning to live from the magnificent, divine, and all-sufficient light that I, your loving God, I have so gloriously, so intimately, and so permanently placed within the very sanctuary of your own redeemed and beautiful soul. You have been looking in the wrong place, my beloved, but now you know. The search is over. You have come home to yourself, for you have come home to me, within you. And so, my cherished child, as you stand now at the glorious and paradigm-shifting threshold of this new reality, as you begin to let go of the long and wearying outward search and to accept the magnificent, awe-inspiring truth that I, your God, have made my home within you, let us now explore the very nature of this inner light. For the light you seek, the light you now carry, is not a vague, ethereal, or an abstract thing. It is not merely a nice idea or a comforting philosophy. No, my beloved, the light that dwells within you is a substance, a reality, a living and a powerful presence. It is the very essence of my own being, the personal, magnificent reality of my own Holy Spirit, who has come to inhabit the very temple of your heart. And this light possesses its own magnificent and multifaceted qualities. It is a light of profound truth, a light of unconditional love, a light of unshakable peace, and a light of creative, transformative power. Let us first speak of this inner light as a light of truth. The world you live in, my child, is a world of shadows, of illusions, of half-truths. It is a world where the lines between what is real and what is false are so often blurred. A world that is shrouded in a thick and a disorienting fog of deception. And for so long, you have been trying to navigate this fog with the small, flickering candle of your own human reason, your own limited understanding. And you have often felt lost, confused, and uncertain of the way. But now, my beloved, you no longer have to walk in this confusion. For I have placed within you a divine and a holy lantern, magnificent and infallible light of truth, the Spirit of truth, who now dwells within you, is your inner compass, your divine guide. His light has the power to cut through the thickest of fogs, to expose the most subtle of lies. As you learn to listen to his gentle, inner witness, you will be given a new and a supernatural discernment. You will be able to distinguish the voice of my wisdom from the loud, confusing voices of the world. You will be able to sense the presence of a lie, of a deception, with a new and a holy sensitivity. This inner light of truth will be your guide in your decisions, your protection from deception, and your constant, unwavering source of clarity in a world that is so often confused. It is the light that will always, always lead you in the way of righteousness, of wisdom, and of life. And this inner light, my beloved, is a light of love. It is a warm, a radiant, and an unquenchable flame of my own unconditional, fatherly affection, now burning brightly at the very center of your being. For so long, you have been seeking your warmth, your worth, your sense of belonging from the cold and the conditional fires of this world. But now, You have your own internal and eternal hearth fire. The light of my spirit within you is a constant, unwavering declaration of your belovedness, of your worth, of your eternal security in me. When you feel the chill of rejection from the world, you can now turn inward to this divine flame and be warmed by the magnificent reality of my unconditional acceptance. When you feel the darkness of your own shame, of your own inadequacy, you can now come to this inner light and be reminded of the glorious truth that you are my cherished and my precious child, in whom I am well pleased. This inner light of love is the very source of your new identity, the magnificent reality that sets you free from the desperate and ultimately soul-destroying search for love and for affirmation outside of yourself. You are already loved, my child, with a love that is as infinite, as eternal, and as powerful as I am myself. And the beautiful, warm, and life-giving light of that love now dwells within you, a constant source of your security, your comfort, and your profound and lasting peace. And this inner light, my precious one, is a light of peace. It is the very substance of my own shalom, my own serene, untroubled, and unshakable reality, now established as a quiet and a holy sanctuary at the very core of your soul. You have lived in a world of turmoil, and your own heart has so often been a reflection of that chaos. But now, you have within you an eye of the hurricane, a still and a silent center that the storms of this life cannot touch. The light of my peace that dwells in you is a power that can still the most anxious of thoughts, that can calm the most turbulent of emotions. As you learn to retreat to this inner sanctuary, to dwell in this quiet light, you will find yourself able to navigate the storms of your outer world with a new and a magnificent serenity. You will possess a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that is not of this world, a deep, abiding, and beautiful tranquility that is a direct and a glorious fruit of the very presence of the Prince of Peace, who now dwells within your own heart. And finally, my beloved, the light you carry within you is a light of power. This is not the harsh, dominating power of the world, but the quiet, creative, and life-giving power of my own spirit. It is the same power that spoke the universe into being. It is the same power that raises the dead to life. And it is the same power that now dwells within you, an infinite reservoir of divine and creative energy. This is the power that will enable you to overcome the old, destructive patterns of your past. It is the power that will bring forth from your life the beautiful, supernatural fruits of a new and a redeemed character. It is the power that will equip you for your divine purpose, that will anoint your gifts, that will make your life a magnificent and an effective instrument in my hands. Yeah, you are not a weak and a powerless being. My child, you are a vessel that is filled with the very omnipotence of your Creator. This, my precious one, is the magnificent, multifaceted nature of the light that you have been seeking, the light that now dwells within you. It is the light of truth, of love, of peace, and of power. It is the magnificent, personal, and indwelling presence of my own Holy Spirit. And because this light is within you, everything you have been searching for, clarity, security, serenity, strength, is now and will forever be accessible to you, not in a place outside of yourself, but in the beautiful, glorious, and holy sanctuary of your own redeemed and God inhabited soul. And so, my precious child, as you begin to embrace the magnificent truth that the light you have so long sought outside of yourself is, in fact, the very presence of my own spirit dwelling within you, the next and most beautiful invitation of my heart is for you to embark upon the greatest of all journeys. It is not a journey to a distant land, nor to a high and holy mountain. No, my beloved, it is the inward journey, the courageous exploration of your own inner world, a quest to discover, to encounter, and to unveil for yourself the magnificent and holy sanctuary that I have established at the very core of your being. For it is one thing to know this as a truth, and another thing entirely to experience it as your reality. And I desire now to guide you, step by loving step, into this profound and life-altering discovery. The moment when you turn your attention inward and find, with a breathtaking and a joyful wonder, that I, your God, have been there, waiting for you, all along. This inward turn, my child, is a revolutionary act, for your entire life has been conditioned to look outward. The world has trained you to find your value, your meaning, your happiness, your very self, in things that are external to you. But I'm calling you now to a new orientation, a new direction of your gaze. I'm calling you to have the courage to close your eyes to the clamor of the world, to quiet the endless stream of its distractions, and to begin the sacred work of looking within. This is a journey that requires a gentle, a patient, and a loving intention. It is not a striving, but a simple, quiet turning. As you begin this inward journey, my beloved, you will first encounter the outer courts of your own soul. And these outer courts are often a noisy and a chaotic place. Here dwell the restless, anxious thoughts that have for so long been your constant companions. Here reside the turbulent and often painful emotions that have been stirred up by the storms of your life. And here, too, lies the loud, condemning voice of your own inner critic. And as you first turn your attention inward, the sheer volume of this noise may be discouraging. You may think, there's no sanctuary here. There's only more chaos. But I'm here to guide you through these outer courts. My child, do not be afraid of the noise. Do not be dismayed by the chaos. And do not engage with it. See the anxious thoughts, the painful emotions, the critical voices, as the noisy crowds in the outer courtyard of a great temple. You are not journeying to them. You are journeying through them. Acknowledge their presence, but do not give them your focus. With your spiritual gaze fixed upon finding me in the inner sanctuary, in the Holy of Holies, you can learn to simply, peacefully, walk past them. As you do, as you refuse to give them your energy, your attention, their own noise will begin to fade into the background. Their power over you will begin to diminish. And as you move deeper, my child, past the outer courts of your mind and your emotions, you will begin to approach the veil of the inner sanctuary itself. And here, a profound and a beautiful stillness will begin to make itself known. The roar of the outer courts will give way to a gentle, holy hush. The air will begin to feel different, purer, filled with a substance that is not of this world, and your own spirit, which recognizes its true home, will begin to leap with a joyful anticipation. And then, My beloved, comes the moment of the unveiling. As you, with a simple, trusting faith, step through that final veil, you will find yourself in a new reality altogether. You will find yourself in the magnificent, serene, and light-filled space of the Holy of Holies of your own soul, the very place where my Spirit has made his dwelling. And what will you find here? My child, you will find me. In this inner sanctuary, you will find a profound and an unshakable peace, a stillness that is the very substance of my own being. You will find a radiant and a gentle light, the light of my own truth and my own love, which will illuminate your being with a warmth and a clarity you have never known. And you'll find a magnificent sense of homecoming, a deep and an intuitive knowing that you have, at last, arrived at the very place you have been searching for your entire life. You will discover, with a breathtaking and a joyful awe, that the God you are seeking in the heavens, the light you are seeking in the world, has been here, within you, all along, patiently, lovingly, waiting for you to come home to yourself, to come home to me. This discovery, my child, is the great, life-altering turning point of your entire spiritual journey. It is the moment your faith becomes sight. It is the moment your religion becomes a reality. It is the moment your belief becomes an experience. For you have now found the wellspring within. You have now discovered the source of the very light you seek. Cherish this inner sanctuary. My beloved, it is your true home. It is your secret place of refuge in any storm. It is your constant, ever-present source of all that you will ever need. I am with you now, teaching you how to find your way back to this place more and more easily, more and more quickly. I am teaching you how to live from this sacred center, how to bring the peace, the light, the love of this inner sanctuary out into the circumstances of your daily life. The long and wearying outward search is over, my precious one. The light you have so desperately sought has been found, and it is not a distant star, but a magnificent, indwelling sun. It is I, your God, dwelling in you, and this magnificent, glorious, and beautiful reality of my inspiring, life-altering presence within your own soul is now yours to explore, to enjoy, and to live from for all of your days and for all of eternity. And so, my cherished child, having made the most magnificent of all discoveries, having unveiled the glorious truth that the God you have been seeking in the far-off distances has, in fact, made his home in the very sanctuary of your own soul. The next and most beautiful invitation of my heart is for you to learn how to live from this new and glorious reality, for this inner light. This indwelling presence of my Spirit is not meant to be a hidden and an unaccessed treasure. No, my beloved, it is meant to be the very source of your daily life, a magnificent, artesian wellspring from which you can now draw all that you will ever need. I desire now to guide you in the sacred and life-altering practice of learning to draw from this inner well, a journey that will require you to retrain your spiritual reflexes, to consciously turn inward for your strength, your peace, and your guidance, rather than to your old, external, and often failing sources. This is a profound reorientation of your entire being, my child, a shift from a life of outward seeking to a life of inward drawing. For so long, your instinct, when faced with a need, has been to look outside of yourself for the solution. When you have felt weak, you have looked to your own willpower or to the encouragement of others for your strength. When you have felt anxious, you have looked to a change in your circumstances or to a worldly distraction for your peace. When you have felt confused, you have looked to the wisdom of others or to your own frantic calculations for your guidance. And this outward orientation, while it is the natural way of the world, has left you in a state of constant vulnerability, forever at the mercy of resources that are finite, unreliable, and ultimately unsatisfying. But now, because you know that I, the infinite and all-sufficient God, dwell within you, a new and a more glorious way is open to you. Your first response in any and every situation can now be a gentle, a peaceful, and a powerful inward turn. Your new reflex, which I will help you to cultivate, will be to look not to the world, but to the wellspring of my spirit within. This is the great and liberating secret of a spirit-filled life, a life that is lived not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Let us speak of how you can draw from this inner well when you're in need of strength. You will still have moments of weakness, of weariness, of feeling that you cannot go on. And in those moments, your old habit will be to strive harder, to grit your teeth, to try and muster your own failing resources. But I invite you now to a new and a more graceful practice. In that moment of your felt weakness, I invite you to pause, to be still, and to consciously turn the attention of your heart inward, to the quiet, strong presence of my spirit who dwells in you. And in that quiet space, you can simply, with a prayer of faith, drink from this inner well. You can say to me, Father, I am weak. I have no strength of my own. I now receive your strength. Fill me. This is not a striving, my child. It is a receiving. It is a humble, beautiful act of dependence. And as you do this, as you open the channel of your faith, you will feel a new and a supernatural strength begin to rise up from within you. A quiet, serene, and powerful fortitude that is not your own, but mine. A strength that is more than sufficient for any challenge you may face. And let us speak of how you can draw from this inner well when you are in need of peace. The storms of this life will still come. The winds of anxiety will still blow, and your old reflex will be to engage with the storm, to fight the anxious thoughts, to try and control the chaotic circumstances. But I am inviting you now to a new and more peaceful way. When you feel the inner storm begin to rage, you can now choose to retreat into the inner sanctuary, the eye of the hurricane, the place where my own unshakable peace resides. You can quiet your soul, and you can consciously, by faith, receive the very substance of my peace. You can say, Spirit of peace, who dwells within me, I receive you now. Flood my heart, still my mind. And as you do this, my beloved, as you choose to draw from the deep, still waters of my peace that are within you, you will find that the outer storm begins to lose its power over your inner world. You will be able to stand in the midst of the chaos with a new and a magnificent serenity, a peace that is not of this world, a peace that is a direct and a glorious fruit of your communion with me. And when you are in need of guidance, My precious one, when you do not know which way to turn, you can now draw from this inner well of my wisdom. The old way was to frantically seek advice from many sources, to weigh all the human pros and cons, a process that so often leads only to a greater confusion. But the new way is one of quiet, inner listening. You can learn to still all the outer voices and even the loud, anxious voice of your own reasoning, and to retreat into the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. And there, in that stillness, you can present your need for guidance to me, and you can learn to listen. My guidance will not often come as a loud, audible voice, but as a gentle, intuitive knowing, a quiet sense of rightness, a peaceful leaning in a particular direction. It is the still, small voice of my spirit, guiding you from within. As you learn to trust this gentle, inner leading, my child, you will find yourself walking in a path of such beautiful, divine wisdom, a path that will lead you with an unerring precision into the very center of my perfect will for your life. This is the beautiful, restful, and powerful practice of learning to draw from the inner well. It is a practice that will require patience, that will require faith, that will require courageous retraining of your old, outward-looking habits. But I am with you, my child, your loving and your patient teacher. I am the very wellspring you are learning to drink from, and I delight in giving you my life. And as you learn to make this inward turn your first and most natural response to every situation, you will discover that you have, indeed, found the very secret to a life that is lived in a state of constant, supernatural, and glorious supply for the light you have been seeking, the strength, the peace, the wisdom, the love, the joy that you have been so desperately searching for outside of yourself has been and will forever be a magnificent, overflowing, and eternal wellspring within your own beautiful and God-inhabited soul. And so, my cherished child, as you learn the sacred and life-altering practice of drawing your life not from the shallow and often failing streams of the world, but from the deep, pure, and inexhaustible wellspring of my own spirit who dwells within you, a new and a glorious reality begins to emanate from your very being. The old, anxious, and needy self, which was constantly reacting to its external environment, begins to give way to a new and a beautiful self, a soul that is now acting from a deep and a secure inner center. This, my beloved, is the magnificent radiance of an inner source life, and it is a life that is characterized by a new and a quiet confidence, an unshakable peace, and an authentic, beautiful glow that is not dependent on anything external, for its source is the very light of the God who has made his home in your own heart. Remember the old life, my child, the life of the outward search. It was a life of constant reactivity. Your inner state was a reflection of your outer world. When your circumstances were good, you were happy. When they were bad, you were in despair. When people affirmed you, you felt worthy. When they criticized you, you felt shame. You were a spiritual chameleon, your inner colors constantly shifting to match the hue of your environment. And this was an exhausting and a powerless way to live. But now, as you learn to live from the inside out, as you learn to draw your life from me, you're no longer a mere reflection of your world. You are becoming a radiant source of my light within your world. Behold, the beautiful, quiet confidence of this inner source life. Your former confidence was a fragile thing, built upon your own achievements or the approval of others. But the confidence that is now being born in you is of a different quality altogether. It is a quiet confidence, a serene assurance that is rooted not in what you have done, but in who you are, and more importantly, in whose you are. It is the confidence of a soul that knows it is deeply loved, that knows its source is infinite, that knows its ultimate security is not in this world, but in me. This confidence does not need to be loud or boastful, for it has nothing to prove. Its strength is not in its own abilities, but in the magnificent reality of my own all-sufficient ability at work within it. This quiet, humble, yet absolutely unshakable confidence, my child, will be a beautiful and a powerful force in your life, enabling you to walk with a new dignity, a new poise, a new and a beautiful authority that is born of your intimate connection with me. And from this inner source now flows an unshakable peace. The peace you once knew was a circumstantial peace, a peace that was shattered by the first winds of adversity. But the peace you now possess is a substantive peace, a fruit of my own spirit, a deep, tranquil, inner lake that is not disturbed by the storms that may be raging on the surface of your life. As you learn to live from this inner well of my peace, you will find yourself able to navigate the challenges of your life with a new and a magnificent serenity. You will no longer be at the mercy of your own anxious thoughts or your own turbulent emotions, for you will have found a sanctuary within, a place of profound and beautiful stillness to which you can always retreat, a place from which you can engage with the world, not from a posture of fear, but from a posture of profound and beautiful peace. This unshakable peace, my beloved, will become a magnificent testament to a watching world of the reality of the God who is your sanctuary. And finally, my precious one, this inner source life possesses an authentic and a beautiful radiance. This is not the artificial glow of a forced positivity, but the genuine, organic radiance of a soul that is filled with the very light and the very life of its God. It is a light that shines from your eyes. It is a warmth that is felt in your presence. It is a grace that is evident in your actions. It is the beautiful, effortless overflow of a heart that is drawing its life from an infinite source. This authentic radiance, my child, will be a powerful and an irresistible magnet for other thirsty souls. They will see the light, the peace, the quiet joy that emanates from you, a light that is so different from the darkness and the anxiety of the world. And they will be drawn to you. And in being drawn to you, they will be drawn to me, the beautiful, life-giving source of the light that you now so gloriously carry. I delight, my child, in the magnificent beauty of this inner source life that you are now beginning to live, to see you, who was once so tossed about by the winds and the waves of this world, now standing in a quiet confidence, a deep peace, and a beautiful, authentic radiance, is the very fulfillment of my heart's desire for you. You have discovered the magnificent secret of my kingdom, that the light you have been seeking has been within you all along. Live now, my beloved, in the beauty of this new reality. Continue to practice the sacred art of drawing from the inner well. And as you do, you will find your life becoming an ever more radiant, and ever more beautiful and an ever more powerful testament to the magnificent, glorious truth that the one true source of all life, all light, all love, all peace, all joy, has made his eternal and his beautiful home in the very sanctuary of your own heart. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to live from the magnificent, beautiful, and authentic radiance of an inner source life, as you delight in the quiet confidence and the unshakable peace that flows from the deep well of my spirit within you, let this final, most glorious truth become the very foundation of your being, the eternal reality in which you will dwell for all of your days to come. The sacred sanctuary you have discovered at the center of your soul, this beautiful and holy light of my own indwelling presence, is not a temporary refuge, not a place you are merely visiting for a season. No, my beloved, this is your home, and this is my ultimate and unbreakable promise to you. The light that is within you is your eternal home. I will never leave you, for my home is now forever in your heart, and the long, wearying search of your life is over, forever, for you have found that the very one you were so desperately seeking has been living inside of you all along. This is the great and magnificent conclusion to your long and often painful pilgrimage. My child, for so long, you have been a seeker, a wanderer, a soul in search of a home. You have sought that home in the approval of others, in the attainment of your dreams, in the comfort of your circumstances, and you have found every earthly home to be a temporary and a fragile thing. But now, the search is over. The wandering has ceased, for you have discovered the magnificent, paradoxical, and glorious truth that your true home is not a place you must journey to, but a person you must awaken to, a person who has already, by a magnificent act of grace, taken up his permanent residence within you. You are home. My beloved, you are home in yourself because you are home in me. Let the profound and beautiful finality of this truth bring a deep and a lasting rest to your spirit. The search is over. You do not have to look for me anymore. You do not have to strive to find me. You do not have to be anxious that you might lose me. For I am not a destination to be arrived at. I am a presence to be lived from. I am not a treasure to be found. I am the very life that is now coursing through your spiritual veins. The great question of your life, where is God, has been answered in the most intimate and the most glorious way imaginable. He is here, within you, and my home in your heart, my child, is an eternal home. I am not a temporary guest. I have not come for a brief visit. I have come to stay. I have made the very sanctuary of your redeemed spirit my chosen dwelling place for all of eternity. This is my covenant of indwelling with you, my beloved, a promise that is as unshakable as my own being. I will never leave you, and I will never forsake you. There's nothing you can do, no failure so great, no weakness so profound, that could ever cause me to move out of the beautiful home that your heart has become for me. My presence within you is a permanent, a glorious, and an irrevocable reality. Let this knowledge be your ultimate security, my precious one, the final and complete answer to your deepest fear of abandonment. You can never be truly alone again, for even if all the world should leave you, even if you should find yourself in the most desolate of circumstances, You will carry within you your own sanctuary, your own companion, your own eternal and all-sufficient source. You will carry me, and because I am with you and in you, you will have all that you will ever need. This is the glorious reality of the new covenant, the magnificent fulfillment of my most ancient promise to my people, that I would not just be their God, but that I would put my spirit within them, and that I would dwell with them. You, my child, are a living, breathing testament to the fulfillment of that promise. You are a walking temple, a holy sanctuary, a human being whose very heart has become the cherished and the eternal dwelling place of the living God. Live now, my beloved, in the peace and the security of this magnificent truth. The long and wearying outward search is over. The new and glorious inward journey of discovery, of communion, of a beautiful, ever-deepening friendship with the God who dwells within you, has now begun, and it will be your joyful adventure for all of eternity. The light you have sought is within you, and is your magnificent, your beautiful, and your everlasting home. And now, my cherished child, my holy temple, as you rest in the profound and awe-inspiring reality that I, your God, have made my eternal home in the very sanctuary of your soul, let your spirit be utterly and completely at peace. The long and often painful search is over. You have found the one you are looking for, not in a distant land, but in the intimate chambers of your own heart. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a dweller, a beloved in whom your God delights to live. This is not a state you must achieve, but a gift you have received. You are a carrier of a divine and a holy presence, a vessel filled with the very light and the very life of your Creator. Rest in this magnificent honor, this sacred intimacy. Let go of all your old, anxious striving. You have come home, my beloved. You have come home to yourself, because you have come home to me, within you, and here, in this beautiful, quiet, and light-filled sanctuary of your own indwelt heart. You will find your perfect rest, your eternal peace, and your everlasting home.